Title reads, Is height surgery a deal breaker? I'm guessing this is from a female point of view. It's the second time since I've been single that I met a guy who had height surgery. I just find it quite strange. If I was a guy who had height surgery, I'd probably keep it to myself until a bit further down the dating process. I hope these guys aren't providing that information on the first or second date, but maybe it's just very noticeable if they're wearing shorts. I would understand if a guy had work done, like a nose job, cosmetic dental surgery, Botox, even lipo in some cases or such, but height surgery just seems very extreme. I don't see the difference because that was the point I was going to make when I saw that title. Because I don't actually read through these posts. This is all a natural reaction from me. But my point of view was, well, is it a red flag for us guys when we see a woman who's had lots of work done to her face? Especially if she's young as well. It's like, oh, you've got all this work done at such a young age, changing how you look. So yeah, I don't see any difference between a woman who has Botox versus a man who has height surgery. It shows an insecurity on themselves, so they want to get changed. It shows maybe certain society expectations of what attractiveness is. So a guy thinks, hey, I haven't had a lot of good luck in dating. Women seem to not be matching me due to my height. I'm going to try and change it and have height surgery. Now, I don't recommend a guy should get height surgery. I think you shouldn't change anything about your body other than hitting the gym and trying to be the best version of yourself. But you can't blame a guy for having height surgery and being okay with someone having Botox, for example. That's just hypocrisy there from this woman is pretty evident. But also, from my point of view, when it came to dating, I'm now in a great relationship. But a red flag for me would be a woman who has had stuff done because you don't want to date an insecure person. I've dated insecure women in the past and been in long term relationships with someone who's insecure, and they're always going to be insecure. And insecurities causes issues, it causes arguments, they start not trusting you. It's just an absolute headache. Like, no matter how many compliments you give a girl who's insecure, it just bounces off of them like some shield. And it's just you're fighting a losing battle. So I don't like dating people who have insecurities, and an insecurity for me would be prevalent in someone who's had things done to their body. It seems that people who have had it are not extremely insecure, but insecure enough to risk their mobility and safety for a few extra inches of height. But men have been told that height is important to women, and no matter how many people say, "Oh, yeah, height doesn't matter. It's all about the personality, etc." It's a load of rubbish. The statistics are very clear that women prefer men who are taller than them, and they especially prefer men who are 6 foot plus. If you ask a woman to write down their perfect man, 100% in the top three, it'd be a man who's 6 foot or above. Now, not every woman's going to be able to date a guy who's 6 foot above because the majority of men are 5'9" and below in the Western world. But that's what women want. And especially with these dating apps, which is extremely about physical attractiveness, height is important. Now, it doesn't mean a short king can't get laid or can't have a healthy, beautiful relationship with a pretty girl. I'm not 6 foot myself, and my girlfriend is crazy about me. But absolutely, being a certain height is going to help you in the dating marketplace. Now, I don't know how tall this guy is. Maybe she mentions it further down in the post. But if he's like 5'3", 5'5", it's going to make sense for him to look down into something like height surgery in helping him because those couple of inches could make him taller than the girl he's dating, which could go a long way. Again, I don't agree. I don't think a guy should do it. I don't think you should be changing yourself to attract women. I think in other ways you can make yourself more attractive. But absolutely, if you're a short guy, it's tough out there. And I hate women coming uh, onto these posts and saying it, in the public, saying height doesn't matter, it's about your personality. We all know it's a load of rubbish. Height does matter, unfortunately. Run over. It seems that people who have it are not extremely insecure, but insecure enough to risk their mobility and safety for a few extra inches of height. I do agree. It's you don't want to be having walking issues at such a young age. It is dangerous. and the long-term consequences are not good. Also, the cost of it could easily buy a nice car or even an apartment in some places. Well, you don't need to be worried about his financial income. He can spend his money however he wants, just like how much Botox would probably cost. I don't mind dating a short guy. I would prefer a guy around my own height. So even in that line, she admits that, oh, I don't care about height. But then she's just counteracted herself, saying, oh, but he has to at least be my height. He at least has to be my height when I'm wearing heels. The mask is slipping already. So she wants to date someone anywhere from 5'3" to 5'8". I'd love to see her previous dating record. I'm sure the majority of guys she's dated are 5'10" and above. Let's be honest. Anyone else met someone with this procedure? Is it a deal breaker or not? For me, the more I think about it, it probably is. I don't know if I've ever met someone with height surgery. I've never asked them. I wouldn't know what to look out for, and they probably wouldn't be honest with me if they had had it. I think it is quite a new procedure in the last five years or so. Is it a red flag? Maybe. I think it probably shows insecurity on the guy's part, and he's probably never going to be particularly happy with it with his height. But I feel for them because society has told them that you have to be a certain height to attract certain women. Just like I do feel sorry for women who feel the need to have to do Botox and liposuction because of society as well. Men do like thinner, attractive women. That's just the case. Just like how women like taller men. So I guess we could blame society, but we can also blame the man upstairs who made us this way and how biology is. But from my point of view, look, she obviously is repulsed by this, so just don't date guys with who's had height surgery. It's as simple as that. But we've seen enough in this post to see that she is quite hypocritical. Because again, I'd love to see her previous history when it comes to dating and the heights she usually prefers. Anyway, that's all, guys. Cheers. See ya.